You've been told your whole life to eat your veggies. They're green, they're fresh, they're healthy, right? But after we cross that 60-year milestone, the story changes a little. Our bodies don't process things quite the same. What used to be helpful might now cause bloating joint stiffness, or even interfere with the medications we rely on. Surprising, isn't it? That's why today's conversation matters, because the truth is not all vegetables are good for seniors. Some can quietly spike blood sugar. Others may weaken your bones, disrupt digestion, or worsen inflammation. But don't worry, we're not here to scare anyone. We're here to empower. Together, we'll gently walk through 4 vegetables that seniors might want to avoid, and 4 others that can become quiet heroes on your plate. This isn't about cutting out food, it's about choosing smarter and aging better. So, make yourself comfortable. Let's get started. Part 1. The 4 worst vegetables for seniors. Let's begin with the surprising truth that not all vegetables are created equal, especially for folks like us, in our 60s, 70s, or even our wonderful 80s. 1. Canned corn, a sweet trap. In a familiar can. Many of us grew up seeing corn as a comfort food. Sweet corn at the summer barbecue, a spoonful in our favorite soup, or even as a quick side dish for lunch. But canned corn, that convenient little tin sitting in your pantry, might be doing more harm than good. See, corn in its fresh form does have some redeeming qualities, a bit of fiber, some natural sweetness. But once it's processed and packed into cans, things change. The problem lies in what's added and what's taken away. Canned corn often comes loaded with added sugars and preservatives and a surprising amount of sodium. Just a half cup can contain over 300 milligrams of salt, and if you're on medication for high blood pressure, you know how dangerous excess sodium can be. Let's take George, for example, a retired electrician from Cleveland. George prided himself on staying away from fast food, and he made lunch at home every day. But his energy would crash in the afternoons, and his ankles often looked swollen. His doctor noticed a rise in blood pressure and asked him to keep a food journal. The common culprit, canned corn in his casseroles, his soups, and sometimes even on its own. When George swapped it for fresh green beans and low-sodium legumes, the difference was remarkable. Less bloating, better energy. And his doctor smiled for the first time in months, looking at those improved numbers. So if canned corn is still a staple in your kitchen, consider this a gentle nudge to give it a rest, or at least read the label very closely. 2. Raw cruciferous vegetables. A double-edged leaf. We've all heard it. Broccoli is good for you, kale is packed with nutrients, cauliflower is the new everything. And it's true, cruciferous vegetables are powerful. But when eaten raw, they can quietly become problematic, especially for seniors. Why, it has to do with something called goitrogens, naturally occurring compounds that can interfere with the thyroid gland, particularly when consumed in large amounts uncooked. For most younger folks, the body handles these just fine. But for many of us over 60, especially if we're already taking medication for thyroid issues or feeling the effects of a slower metabolism, goitrogens can tip the balance. Let's talk about Linda, a 74-year-old former music teacher in Oregon. After reading a wellness blog, she started blending raw kale and cauliflower into smoothies every morning. It felt healthy, but within weeks Linda began feeling unusually cold, sluggish, and forgetful. Blood work revealed her thyroid hormone levels had dropped. It wasn't until a thoughtful dietitian pointed out the raw cruciferous vegetables that Linda made the connection. She switched to lightly steaming her greens and adding iodine-rich foods like eggs and seaweed. The improvement was quiet, but steady. Her energy returned and the chill in her bones faded. So, remember, it's not that broccoli or kale are bad, but raw they can be a little harsh for our age group. A little heat goes a long way to soften both the vegetable and its effect on your body. 3. Eggplant. Beautiful to look at, not always to eat. Now, here's a vegetable that looks elegant on the plate. Eggplant, that glossy purple star of Mediterranean dishes. But beneath that shiny skin lies something that's not so senior-friendly. Eggplant belongs to the nightshade family, along with tomatoes, peppers, and white potatoes. And while these veggies aren't harmful to everyone, for some folks dealing with joint pain or arthritis, they can quietly stir up inflammation. Eggplant in particular contains a compound called solanine, and for sensitive individuals, it can irritate joints, increase stiffness, or worsen flare-ups. Take Frank, a 68-year-old jazz guitarist from Nashville. He loved his grilled eggplant sandwiches and ate them almost daily. But he couldn't understand why his fingers hurt more in the mornings, or why bending his knees was becoming a chore. It wasn't until he eliminated eggplant from his diet for a few weeks, just as a trial, that the stiffness started to ease. When he reintroduced it later, even in small amounts the pain returned. For seniors already managing arthritis or gout, reducing or skipping, eggplant may offer a little peace in the joints. And there are so many delicious alternatives out there. Roasted zucchini, steamed carrots, or baked sweet potatoes, all gentler on your system. 4. Raw spinach, a superfood with a caveat. Spinach, the darling of every salad and green smoothie, has long been seen as a nutritional superhero. And it is rich in vitamins and minerals, but, like any hero, it has a weakness. Raw spinach is high in something called oxalates compounds that combine with calcium and iron in your digestive tract, making them harder to absorb. For younger adults, this isn't usually a problem. But for us, with our changing bones, slower digestion, and sometimes delicate balance of medications, raw spinach can quietly interfere with what we need most. Even more importantly, spinach is also rich in vitamin K1, a vital nutrient for blood clotting. That sounds good, unless you're on blood thinners, like many seniors are. In that case, too much vitamin K can throw off your medication levels. Let me share a story about Eleanor, a graceful 79-year-old grandmother from Albuquerque. She joined her granddaughter's health challenge and began drinking green smoothies every morning packed with raw spinach. A month later, her INR levels, which measure blood clotting, were all over the place. Her doctor was puzzled. Eleanor hadn't changed her medication, but she had changed her breakfast. Once the spinach smoothies were swapped for cooked greens, Eleanor's levels returned to normal and she felt more grounded again, literally and emotionally. So, yes, spinach is still your friend, but cooking it makes a world of difference, softening the oxalates, reducing the vitamin K levels, and making the nutrients more accessible to your body. So far, we've taken a closer look at 4 vegetables that might seem harmless, even healthy, but can quietly work against the body as we age. Canned corn, with its hidden sugars and sodium, can disrupt blood pressure and digestion. Raw cruciferous vegetables, while trendy in smoothies, may strain thyroid function and gut health. Eggplant, as beautiful as it is, might aggravate inflammation in joints for those dealing with arthritis. And raw spinach, that symbol of health, can interfere with mineral absorption and essential medications, if not cooked properly. But remember, this isn't about fear or cutting out entire food groups. It's about listening to your body, understanding your needs, and making smart swaps that support the life you want to live, full of energy, mobility, and joy. Now, let's explore the vegetables that truly shine when it comes to aging. Well, 4 nutritional heroes that should find a place on your plate every single week. Part 2. The 4 Best Vegetables for Seniors. While some vegetables may need to be reduced or cooked differently as we age, others become powerful allies supporting our circulation, our memory, our bones, and even our mood. These next 4 vegetables offer not just nutrients but vitality. Let's begin with one you may have overlooked. 1. Beets. A vibrant boost for blood flow and brain power. Beets don't always make it to the dinner table. Many of us either weren't raised eating them or just didn't like the earthy taste. But cooked right, they can become a favorite, especially when you know what they're doing inside your body. Beets are rich in natural nitrates, a compound that once inside us converts to nitric oxide. This substance helps our blood vessels relax and widen, making it easier for blood to flow through. For seniors dealing with high blood pressure, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this can be a game changer. There's also growing research connecting beet consumption to better brain function, especially memory and attention, thanks to improved circulation to areas of the brain responsible for those tasks. Take Harold, a retired postman from Charlotte, North Carolina. After a minor scare with high blood pressure, Harold decided to try beet juice, just a small glass each morning, with breakfast. He didn't love the taste at first, but he gave it a go. After a few weeks, he noticed something unexpected. He wasn't getting those mid-morning dizzy spells anymore. He could read the paper for longer. Even his daughter commented that he seemed sharper. That's the quiet power of a root vegetable doing its job. And cooked beets, roasted, steamed, or blended into soups are gentle on digestion too. If you haven't given beets a second chance, now might be the perfect time. 2. Bok choy, bone, builder in a crisp, gentle leaf. Now, let's talk about a green that doesn't get nearly enough credit. Bok choy. This leafy vegetable, common in many Asian kitchens, has a tender texture and a mild flavor that blends beautifully into soups and stir-fries. But don't let its simplicity fool you. Bok choy is a hidden powerhouse for seniors, especially when it comes to bone strength and heart health. Why it's rich in calcium, magnesium, potassium, and vitamins C and K, all essential for maintaining strong bones and preventing falls. But here's the key. Unlike spinach bok, choy is low in oxalates, which means your body can actually absorb the calcium it offers. This makes bok choy one of the best vegetable-based sources of bone-building minerals out there. Let's look at Susan, a 77-year-old artist in San Diego. After a minor wrist fracture, her doctor encouraged her to increase her calcium intake. But Susan had always struggled with dairy. It made her feel bloated and sluggish. Her granddaughter suggested bok choy, and together they created a new Sunday tradition. Bok choy soup with chicken broth and garlic. After a few months, Susan's follow-up scan showed her bone density had stabilized. More importantly, she felt stronger on her feet and didn't dread the stairs anymore. Sometimes strength comes in the most delicate forms. 3. Green peas. Tiny sweet protectors of energy and digestion. Sweet, familiar, and easy to add to. Almost any meal, green peas might be the most underrated superfood for seniors. Each little pea is packed with fiber, both soluble and insoluble, which supports blood sugar control and healthy digestion. For seniors managing prediabetes or insulin resistance, green peas help prevent spikes in glucose and keep energy levels stable. And that fiber also keeps things moving, which we all know can be a concern with age. But there's more. Green peas contain plant-based protein nearly 8 grams per cup, which helps preserve muscle mass, something that naturally declines as we get older. More muscle means more balance, more confidence, and fewer falls. Take Walter, an 82-year-old former mechanic in Des Moines. After struggling with constipation and low energy, his nurse practitioner suggested adding more peas to his meals. It was a simple change, a spoonful into his morning omelet, a scoop with dinner. Within a month, Walter noticed he wasn't relying on laxatives anymore. He had more pep during his morning walks, and he even started lifting light weights again, something he hadn't done in years. Peas might be small, but for our bodies, they punch well above their weight. 4. Swiss chard, a colorful ally for immunity and eyesight. And finally, we have Swiss chard, a leafy green with deep red, yellow, or white stems and rich dark leaves. If you've never tried it, you're in for a treat. Swiss chard is a gentle but powerful ally for seniors. It's rich in vitamins A, C, and K, along with magnesium, potassium, and antioxidants. These nutrients support liver health, eye protection, and immune function, 3 areas that often need extra love as we age. One of Swiss chard's quiet superpowers is detoxification. Thanks to natural compounds called betalains, it helps the liver clear out toxins and reduces inflammation throughout the body. At the same time, it supports kidney function and gently promotes regular bowel movements. For vision, Swiss chard contains lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 nutrients that protect the eyes from blue light and slow down the progression of age-related macular degeneration. Let's hear from Clara, a vibrant 81-year-old retired nurse in Portland. Clara had been struggling with dry eyes, poor night vision, and lingering colds that just wouldn't quit. Her neighbor, a former chef, suggested sautéing Swiss chard with olive oil and lemon. Clara tried it, then she tried it again. It became a regular part of her weekly meals. Within a couple of months, she noticed a shift. Her eyes didn't burn as much at night, and she made it through the winter without catching a cold, a first in years. Her doctor smiled at her blood test results and said simply, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Sometimes nature's remedies are right in the produce aisle. From the earthy sweetness of beets to the vibrant colors of Swiss chard, these 4 vegetables do more than just add flavor to your meals. They help support energy, protect your organs, and sharpen your thinking. For many of us, this isn't about trendy diets or expensive superfoods. It's about going back to simple, nourishing ingredients that gently work with the body, not against it. We've seen how beets can improve circulation and brain health, how bok choy strengthens bones without digestive discomfort, how green peas balance our blood sugar and keep us strong, and how Swiss chard supports detoxification, immunity, and even our eyesight. The key isn't to eat perfectly, it's to eat intentionally. When we choose the right foods cooked well served, simply we build a body that feels steady, supported, and ready for the day. Now, let's wrap everything up with a warm word of encouragement and a few next steps. Aging well isn't about perfection. It's not about counting every calorie or cutting out every food we once loved. It's about learning. It's about listening to your body and treating it with the same kindness you'd give a dear friend. So, swap canned corn for green peas. Choose gently steamed bok choy instead of raw spinach. Try beets roasted with a little garlic or a sautéed bunch of Swiss chard beside your favorite fish. These little choices aren't just about nutrition. They're about how you feel tomorrow and the day after that. If this video helped you consider sharing it with someone you care about, a neighbor, a sister, or even your grandchild, let's create a community of wiser, healthier, happier, older adults. One meal at a time. We're Seniors Health Talk, and we're with you every step of the way. For clarity, for strength, and for a future you feel good living in.